What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time. It's your boy MXP here today with another video. So I had originally planned to just do like a quick little short or TikTok or whatever, but then after that Kirby Air Riders Direct, 45 minutes, when it first got announced, everyone was like, man, 45 minutes, what are they going to talk about? And I was just like, I kept watching and watching. I'm like, oh no, this is a very deep game, way different than we thought it was going to be, way more detail, so much to go over. And I am, just fair warning ahead of time, I'm going to get extremely hyperbolic, exaggerative, everything. I'm going to say a lot of things that are technically like way blown out of proportion, but it's all in good fun. But anyway, so we're going to go over everything from the direct today and the details, the new stuff we got to look forward to, and everything like that. So if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, leave a like, check all links in the description. Let's get right into this recap. So the original Kirby Air Ride actually came out back in 2003 on the GameCube, and it was a pretty shallow game for the most part. Like, a lot of people like the free roam abilities and stuff like that, or that free roam mode. But for the most part, it was just, hey, you pick pink Kirby, I pick red Kirby, you pick blue Kirby, and then we just fly around, get different abilities or whatever. Like, it was very different than Mario Kart or any other racers at the time, but again, not something that a lot of people hold in very high regard. So when we got the announcement of Kirby Air Riders at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, a lot of people were like, oh, now I'm interested. What has Sakurai been cooking up after all this time, making all the Smash games and everything like that? A really cool tidbit that Sakurai said at the beginning was, how did this game come around? Like, what made this game even come into development? Now, there was rumors that, oh, this was part of some, like, quid pro quo. Oh, if Nintendo was like, if you make another Smash game, we'll let you make another Kirby Air Ride, or he tried to negotiate that in. Actually, he said that the head of Nintendo actually asked him to make another Kirby Air Ride, which was like very surprising to hear. So he was actually working on the DLC of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So this was probably around end of 2019 or 2020. So this game was probably in development for 4 or 5 years. And the other cool thing was, the team that he worked on is not HAL Laboratory. So he actually worked with the same team from Bandai Namco that helped him, develop the Smash game. So not only is he working with the people, the team that he's used to with the Smash, and you'll see the little elements of that from Smash in this trailer, but like, I thought that was a really cool tidbit to also put into the direct. So this direct was actually done by Sakurai, which I thought was very cool, to have the developer there. It's kind of like if you think about the Xbox developer directs, where you can sit there and have the actual creators of the game kind of break everything down to you. So what was cool is he said, okay, let's go over the title. We call it Air Riders, right? Plural, not Kirby Air Ride 2. And that was very intentional. And that was because now this go around, you get to play with a bunch of different racers. You have Kirby, of course, King DDD, you have Waddle Dee, and then they also showed other characters like Magalore, Gooey, Knuckle Joe, and Waddle Doo, Meta Knight. There's a lot of different characters this go around. So even that, right off the bat, they're kind of showing, okay, we wanted to, when we come back to make this sequel, we're going to make it very, like, way more different than the original. You already got more playable characters. Now, Sakurai also expressed his concerns when they asked him to make the game, where he said, isn't this going to be kind of, similar to Mario Kart, especially with this coming out? I was surprised when this got announced that it's coming out this year, and now we know that the date is going to be November 20th, because you just had Mario Kart World come out, which was the first new Mario Kart in over a decade, and he kind of, I don't want to say take subtle shots at Mario Kart, but like throughout the direct, he's kind of saying, okay, we got to make this very different and more advanced. But it's like every single new feature he said, it was kind of like, yeah, you don't just do this, or you don't just do that, or that could be too complicated, or this could be too whatever. And it's kind of like everything he's saying he wanted to change was how Mario Kart is, which I thought was really funny. And I do think that at the end of this, will this sell as well as Mario Kart? No, because I think Mario Kart is the more accessible title. But I do think this is something that a lot of people have been looking for, to kind of switch it up. People have been falling off of Mario Kart World recently, and a lot of people were buying it because it was one of the only games available at launch for the Switch 2, and they're being very strategic with that. So I think it is, 5 months away from Mario Kart World launching, so it'll get new fans to kind of come in and try to do something. And speaking of the mechanics, he actually pointed out that the game, as you're driving, you actually don't have to press an accelerator. So the game's just going to go on its own. You're just going to go forward. There's actually only 2 buttons that you'll use in the entire game. So you have the control stick to go left or right, obviously, but then you pretty much are using the B button to have a boost charge, which you'll use going around the corners. And then you'll also have the Y button to use like a special attack that you can build up the meter for, as well as just absorb those as you're flying around. And I thought the other cool thing about the game is Sakurai put a lot of emphasis on the fact that the game isn't necessarily about slowing other people down. Like, yes, there'll be enemies you can attack and you'll get these little boosts and things like that. And you can use your special to fight enemies as well as, CPUs and stuff like that. But they do minimal changes to the people's, trajectory and things like that. The game is very, very focused on speed, using, different characters have different characteristics and carts and things like that. And the objective of the game literally is just to go either faster or build the best cart, depending on, the type of course you're racing on. And he put some emphasis on that too as well. So there's a lot of customization when it comes to this game. And it's about, okay, we're just trying to get to the finish line as fast as possible. Yes, you can deter people or hit them and everything like that. But he really said, listen, the main objective of the game is get these little boosts when you fight enemies. You could use special attacks. You can use this. You can make your cart this way and that way. And I think that is like a nice change of pace from compared, again, back to Mario Kart, where it is a lot of, yes, you want to go as fast as possible, but then it's like, okay, someone gets a lightning bolt or a squid or a blue shell or a red shell or whatever, and it kind of just, it's fun. I'm not trying to, poop on Mario Kart, but it is kind of like that. You start thinking about, okay, am I even like, is my racing skills actually good, or are people getting lucky? Like, you're getting near the end and someone hits you with something and now you lose, like that kind of thing. So the game is way more focused on the actual mechanics of racing itself and less of like the battle elements and, being more learning how to have better skills as a racer yourself. And along with this customization, the Sakurai pointed out that different characters and different carts actually are affected differently. So you could use, it's not just picking a heavy character or a light character, it's each cart changes depending on what character is being used. So when Kirby's on a small cart, that's the size it is, but then when King Dedede gets on it, it's a lot bigger. So the defense of it, the speed, the handling, everything, there's a lot of stats here, not just, I think Mario Kart probably has 4. It's like acceleration, speed, handling, and something else. But it's like, this shows the amount of customization and the fact that you actually pick the track first before you pick your racer or your kart. So it's not just, hey, this is the meta racer, this is the meta kart that everybody uses. Once you unlock this, you're just going to be good on every kart. It's about being strategic on which, depending on, which stage or track that you're going to be on, which character and which card makes the most sense, which rider you're going to choose to beat that level. And again, this isn't to like downplay Mario Kart, but it is just like another thing to show, okay, if, Sakurai said, like, if I'm going to make this, it has to be way more different than the original Kirby Air Ride, as well as Mario Kart, which is very available for a lot of people, a lot of accessibility surrounding that game. How can we change it? Now, the other cool thing are the, Kirby obviously has his copy abilities, but it's not just, okay, he's the main character, they have the copy abilities, but actually all the other riders have copy abilities as well. And the cool thing about it is, Kirby has his, regular inhaling ability or whatever to copy, but what the other characters do is it depends on what their characteristics are. So like the chef, Kawasaki, he actually uses his ladle to grab the enemies and then be able to copy from there. So again, just adding more to that, not just keeping the same, people picking the same characters. There's no real disadvantage as far as this type of mechanic, as far as if you want to pick a different rider or such. And then the last main feature from the direct was this city trial mode. So Sakurai, of course, he remembers because he made the game and everything, but he knew that everybody loved that sandbox mode and the original Kirby Air Ride. So they decided to come up with this thing called City Trial, which is, again, very, very has a lot of depth to it as far as a game mode, and it's not just a something just thrown together. And that was again a complaint for a lot of people with Mario Kart World, where free roam, you're kind of just riding around, and yeah, sometimes there'll be the P switch, you can do the little challenges or whatever, but like it seemed very shallow, very empty, and things like that. So that is not the case when it comes to the city trial mode, when it comes to Kirby Air Rider. And he called it the main event. So he said this is like probably the part he's been most excited about, most proud of, and he knows that fans really like it and everything like that. But the way it works is you go to this giant map, and this looks like a Smash map. When you look at it, are like 5 different Smash maps put together, but the way it works is you go around, you have 5 minutes, you can grab an empty machine, or if you see another machine ready to hop on, you can get on it. If someone's on a machine that's about to break, you can actually steal it from them. There's a lot of different mechanics there, but you're basically riding around collecting different upgrades and things like that, whether it's to boost your speed, boost your flight ability, boost your defense, boost your attack, everything like that. So you're flying around for 5 minutes, and then at the end of it, you actually get to pick a different type of trial that you guys are going to play. And as you're flying around, you got to be, again, very strategic on what you want to do. You can have a very strong or a very fast machine or whatever, but then it's like, okay, if we're going to do a trial that doesn't involve one of those upgrades that you decide to focus on, now you're kind of SOL. And then after you get all your abilities, at the end, it'll show you, okay, this is the type of cart you have, and you'll be able to pick, okay, which trial do we want to do? And players can vote. So up to 16 players can actually play in City Trial online. And then if you want to do local wireless, it will be 8 people that can play. So again, being very strategic, and then you'll pick one of 4 different trials that you want to go through. So there's 7 different trials. You have air glider, dust up, drag race, you have skydive, you have all these different types of trials that you can choose. And after you actually, you'll be able to pick 4 out, one of the 4 different types of trials that you want to go through, and it'll actually tell you, like, recommend, okay, this one makes more sense for you. If you're going to have one with flight, it'll be better to use like target flight or air glider to see who can go the furthest or hit the target better. And that's like the gist of the whole direct. So again, 45 minutes, lots of different features, and he said there's a lot of stuff they didn't even get into, and I thought I was literally glued to my screen the entire time. I was like full disclosure, I didn't plan on getting this game at all, or like maybe I'll catch it on a sale or something. I wasn't that interested in it, but then I'm watching, I'm like, oh, this could get very, very interesting. There's a lot of stuff to play. Mario Kart World, for the most part, people are playing knockout mode only. Sometimes you do Grand Prix. While I don't think this will overtake Mario Kart, because the comparison I like to make with this would be, let's say, like Forza Horizon that Xbox has, and then Forza Motorsport. So like Forza Horizon is the arcadey, accessible racing game. That's what I would compare to Mario Kart World. And then I would say Forza Motorsport is Kirby Air Riders, right? That is the more technical, different, mechanics, and very more intricate. How do I build my machine and my rider, and how do I choose that and everything, and all the pistons and the tire tread, all that kind of stuff. So again, I think this is a good dynamic. The kart racing scene has been dominated by Mario Kart, and it still will be. It's kind of like sportswear with like Nike, but then you got Adidas and New Balance and everybody, Asics, kind of pulling more of that market share around, just to give people different options. So again, this game comes out November 20th. Now, as far as Nintendo's switch to holiday lineup, I think it's good. I think they've spread out everything pretty well. Like I mentioned, Mario Kart World to start, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Drag X Drive in August, which was kind of a miss, but like it's August, so whatever. September, I would imagine Metroid Prime 4 was going to come out in September, but then it's like, why'd you do the Kirby Air Riders direct now? It seems kind of soon to do the Metroid Prime, or maybe I don't know, maybe they feel like Metroid Prime got enough hype where it doesn't need a long window. Who knows? We know Pokemon Legends CA is in October, and then this is in November 20th. And then maybe Zelda gets pushed to January because they said winter, so it could be in January or February, and then Metroid might take that December window. But not having a September game seems kind of strange. But either way, it's going to be $70. I think it's 25 gigs. So, free up that space if you need to. But definitely looking forward to it. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this Kirby Air Riders Direct. Are you picking up the game? Are you waiting? Are you excited for it? Have you still play Mario Kart? Y'all let me know in the comment section below. Again, leave a like, check all the links in the description, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'll catch you on the next video.